The 2025 NFL season has reached a fever pitch. By the midpoint, the league feels more like a roller coaster than a football schedule. Trades, injuries, and surprise upsets have upended expectations every single week. Teams once considered locks for deep playoff runs are stumbling, while others, written off early, are now thriving after bold quarterback moves. At the center of this midseason madness stands one headline that caught everyone off guard: the Cincinnati Bengals trading for veteran quarterback Joe Flacco. It's a move that symbolizes desperation, strategy, and survival all rolled into one. But that's just the beginning. Across the league, quarterback injuries, shifting rosters, and unexpected heroes are redefining what we thought we knew about the 2025 playoff race. Let's break it all down. Who's winning, who's losing, and what these changes mean for Week 6 and beyond. The Joe Flacco trade, Cincinnati's Hail Mary. The Bengals' trade for Joe Flacco shook the entire AFC. The 40-year-old Super Bowl champion, known for his cannon arm and icy composure, was plucked from Cleveland in exchange for a 2026 fifth-round pick. To many, it looked like a desperate move. But in reality, it's a calculated gamble by a franchise unwilling to let its season slip away. Why Cincinnati pulled the trigger? Joe Burrow's turf toe injury sent shockwaves through the organization. Without him, the Bengals' offense collapsed. Backup Jake Browning, who had shown flashes of potential last season, quickly unraveled under pressure, throwing 8 interceptions against just 6 touchdowns. The team dropped 3 straight games, their playoff hopes fading by the week. The front office faced 2 choices: ride out the storm and hope Browning found his footing, or bring in a veteran with real playoff experience. They chose the latter, and in doing so, they reignited belief inside the locker room. Flacco may not be the long-term answer, but he's exactly what the Bengals need right now. A steady hand, a player who's seen it all, and someone who won't flinch in the chaos of a tight AFC North race. Winner, the Bengals front office. Cincinnati's leadership deserves credit for refusing to sit still. Many franchises would have panicked or looked inward. The Bengals went out and made a bold statement. This trade signals to the players and to fans that the team is still all in on this season. Flacco's arrival also has an immediate locker room effect. Jamar Chase, frustrated by inconsistent quarterback play, praised the move and called Flacco an all-time great. For a young offense in search of confidence, that veteran voice could be the spark they desperately needed. Loser, Jake Browning. No one feels the impact of this trade more than Browning. Once the temporary face of the offense, he's now back to holding a clipboard. His uneven play made this move necessary, but that doesn't soften the blow. In the NFL, there's little room for patience. You either produce or the team finds someone who will. Still, Browning's story isn't over. If Flacco struggles or gets injured, the Bengals may turn back to him. But for now, he's the biggest casualty of Cincinnati's urgency. Mixed outcome, the Browns' perspective. Cleveland's decision to trade Flacco to a division rival raised eyebrows across the league. On paper, it makes sense. The Browns wanted to clear their quarterback room and give rookie Dillon Gabriel more playing time. But emotionally, it's a risky move. Cleveland essentially handed one of the league's most experienced quarterbacks to a rival that's still in the playoff race. If Flacco stabilizes the Bengals and leads them on a run, the Browns will be haunted by the decision. Lamar Jackson, a potentially costly absence. In Baltimore, panic is quietly spreading. Lamar Jackson's hamstring injury forced him out of practice and put his Week 6 status in serious doubt. Without him, the Ravens' offense loses its rhythm and explosiveness. Backup Cooper Rush is expected to start if Jackson can't go. And while Rush is capable, he's not the MVP-caliber dual threat the Ravens are built around. For a franchise that has spent the last 3 years trying to stay healthy deep into the season, Jackson's setback is a cruel reminder of how fragile success can be. Tua Tagovailoa, playing through pain. Down in Miami, Tua Tagovailoa continues to battle through multiple injuries, a sore hip and a thumb sprain on his throwing hand. The Dolphins insist he's fine, but insiders report that he's barely practicing at full speed. The Dolphins' entire offensive identity relies on Tua's timing and accuracy. If he's even slightly off, it changes everything. from Tyreek Hill's deep routes to Jalen Waddle's rhythm in the slot. Rams at Ravens. Holding on without Lamar. If Jackson sits, Baltimore's offense could sputter. The Rams' defensive line will pressure Cooper Rush from every angle, forcing the Ravens to depend on short passes in their running game. If the Ravens manage to win, it'll be a testament to coaching discipline and the kind of depth championship teams are built on. Dolphins at Chargers, the battle of the broken. Miami's fate depends entirely on Tua's durability. Across the field, the Chargers are trying to find consistency of their own. Both teams hover around .500, and this game could decide which one is still relevant come November. Expect explosive plays, but also mistakes. Two wounded contenders fighting to stay afloat. Browns at Steelers, a divisional test. The Browns' first post-Flacco test comes against their fiercest rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Gabriel's composure will be tested early by Pittsburgh's blitz-heavy defense. The Browns' line must protect him if they hope to survive. For the Steelers, this is a chance to bury a rival early. Expect fireworks, physical defense, and possibly some rookie mistakes that could decide the outcome. Jets versus Broncos London game. The NFL's London showcase features two teams clinging to relevance. The Jets, dealing with Justin Fields' lingering knee injury, are desperate to prove they can still compete. The Broncos, meanwhile, are hoping to build momentum after a statement win last week. Both teams travel over 4,000 miles to play what might be a season-defining game. Win and the playoff picture brightens. Lose and questions start swirling around coaches and quarterbacks alike. The injury epidemic. It's not just quarterbacks. Across the league, injury lists are long and concerning. The Ravens have multiple key players limited, including linebacker Roquan Smith and cornerback Marlon Humphrey. The Jets are nursing stars like Quinnen Williams back to health. The Cowboys' wide receiver CeeDee Lamb and pass rusher Jadeveon Clowney are questionable for Week 6. For coaches, this week is all about managing bodies as much as game plans. One bad step could derail an entire season. Winners and losers. So far, winners won. The Bengals' front office. Their move for Joe Flacco was bold, smart, and perfectly timed. Whether or not it leads to a playoff berth, it signals that this organization refuses to let injuries dictate his fate. 2. Jamar Chase and the Bengals' offense. With Flacco, Chase finally gets a quarterback who can hit deep balls with confidence. Expect the offense to look far more balanced and decisive. 3. Dillon Gabriel and the Browns' future. For Gabriel, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Few rookies are given the keys to a playoff-caliber team so soon. If he performs even decently, Cleveland's future looks brighter than ever. Losers 1. Jake Browning. He's become the most unfortunate casualty of the season's chaos. Benched after a shaky stretch, Browning may never get another meaningful shot unless Flacco falters. 2. The Ravens' playoff. Hopes. If Lamar Jackson's injury lingers, Baltimore's Super Bowl dreams could quickly evaporate. The Ravens system depends entirely on him. Without his mobility, their offense becomes one-dimensional. 3. The Browns' short-term prospects trading Flacco to a division rival could backfire if Cincinnati catches fire. The Browns are betting on youth, but it could cost them wins in the short run. What comes next? The second half of the season. As we approach mid-season, teams are beginning to separate themselves. The elite, like the Chiefs, 49ers, and Eagles, continue to assert dominance. But in the AFC North, things are wide open. The Bengals' success hinges on whether Flacco can still deliver in crunch time. The Ravens' fate depends entirely on Lamar's recovery, and the Browns' gamble on youth will either look visionary or disastrous by December. The next few weeks will define not just playoff standings, but legacies. Veteran quarterbacks like Flacco are fighting to prove they still belong. Young passers like Gabriel and Sanders are battling for recognition. Every throw matters. Every hit carries consequences. Final thoughts. The 2025 NFL season has been chaos personified. Trades, injuries, and unexpected heroes rewriting every narrative we thought we knew. What began as a routine campaign has transformed into a survival story. But that's what makes football beautiful. Its unpredictability. One moment you're a backup, The next, you're leading a playoff charge. One trade can change the balance of an entire division. The question now is, who adapts fastest? Because in the NFL, survival isn't about who's the most talented. It's about who adjusts when the ground starts shifting. If you've been loving these deep dive breakdowns of the NFL's craziest storylines, from surprise trades to breakout rookies, make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and tell us in the comments. Which quarterback move do you think will define the rest of the season?